Welcome. In front of me I have an iPhone 14 and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. Now I'll be honest straight up front, I'm not necessarily an iPhone user, so I might not know the best nooks and crannies about this OS and what it holds, so obviously there might be way more interesting things that I can find here, but I just don't know them. Now, jumping straight to the things that I did find, we're going to begin with the multiple applications that you can move at a single time. Because normally when you try to move over an app, you just hold it and start grab it, come on, there we go. And you can then drag it over to a next page, drop it, and there we go, right? A little bit annoying. So what you can do, come on, make space. Right here, come on, there we go. So what you can actually do is, let's just say I want to move only the games from here. I can grab one game or any kind of app. You can, as you can see, you can move it, and once you can move it, you can simply tap on additional applications. So there we go. You can see I'm holding right now 14 apps at once, so I can now move over to the next page as an example, drop it, and there we go. They all got moved really quickly and easily. Now this also will take me to a next thing that I wanted to show you, which is the option to disable pages. So normally right now, if I just close this, we have page with games, which is the last one. Technically we also have this one, which is like the app library. So you have games, you have just a couple applications left over, and the first page. But what you can do is tap on these dots right here, and for instance deselect the last page or any other page that you want, click on done, and now when you're swiping through, you can see that it completely skips a third page with all the games. So you can create a single page for specific some kind of applications that you just don't want to have visible normally. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we would need to re-enable it whenever we want to get to it. And these apps are also still accessible through the app library, as you can see, all the games. So it's not necessarily hiding them completely, but also you can turn the app library off if you want to. So this would then make these apps be not very visible in general. Now moving on to the next thing that I wanted to show you, it's associated with photos and screenshots and the ability to copy text from them. Now, I'm gonna open up settings and just take a simple screenshot right here. Okay, that's one. And I will also bring up a tempered glass right here. And I'm gonna take a photo of this. As you can see, it shows up the button right here. You can tap on it, and then you can select text from it. Now for some reason it's upside down. Fantastic. Not sure why it's upside down. Let's try it again maybe. So I'm gonna move it to the side, there we go. Again, that's a little bit better. So I can now select tempered glass as an example, or premium tempered, and I can copy it, paste it wherever I want, but you're not limited just to pressing that while seeing this. You can actually just take a photo and throw that away, and now we can navigate into our photos, where I'll have two things obviously. So I'll have now the screenshot and this, and when you tap, you can see that you have this icon as well on your photo, and you can clearly see it did select the text. You have like this weird highlights. So again, you can just select it. So obviously you can select all the text here that it detected. I'm not exactly sure if it detected everything. Instructions wasn't detected. You can probably just see that it's not highlighted, I think. Wait, let's try that again. Can't really view it. Oh, it actually selected as well. So yeah, it works pretty well. And obviously, if it works with photos, it will work with screenshots without any kind of problem. And just to showcase this quickly, same thing. Pretty neat way to, for instance, select text, especially if you, for instance, capture pictures of documents. This will allow you to really easily select specific portions of documents, for instance, maybe bank accounts, stuff like that, without any kind of hassle, and it's really nice. Now, let's move over to the next thing that I wanted to show you, which will be the ability to copy things easily. So, as an example, I'm going to open up browser just so I can... Oh, that's good enough. So I do have an image right here, but I'll also open up messages. And I'm gonna start a new message. Now, I'm not gonna really dedicate it to anybody. I'm just gonna keep it like this. Gonna move over to the photo. Gonna hold it. It gives you these options, but now if you move it, it minimizes, and you can just swipe over to your app, drop it. There you go. It's now completely pasted in, and you can send it without much problem. Now, I'll be honest, this might work a little bit better on tablets, just because iPhones still do not include any kind of split screen or just multi-window support like Android does. Only tablets do, so like the iPads, iPad mini even, which on that device it will work a little bit better just because you can have two different things open and you have a little bit bigger canvas for that anyway. But still, you can do it here if you want to, and it's still pretty simple, though it usually requires a two-hand job instead of just being able to do it everything like one-handed. Now anyway, let's move over to the next thing that I want to show you, which will be associated with the keyboard. Now by default you do have the the Apple keyboard, and recently even got the addition of like swipe typing, which, wow, congrats, took them a while. But obviously, if you are aware, Google or Android in general had the option to swipe type for freakingly long time. And what also Google, for instance, gBoard has that Apple doesn't is customization, which for some people might be a neat feature. So what I recommend doing is navigating to your App Store, just select once, whatever, and searching for gBoard. Now once you download it, it's a little bit annoying to enable it, so we need to get started right here. Let's go to this, get started, and when you press once, it just completely tells you F off, Apple technologies. It really doesn't want you to enable the different keyboard. So what you can do is go back to this, select get started again, and now it's actually going to put you where you're supposed to be. So from here you're going to select keyboard, enable it, and also enable the second one, allow full access, allow, and we already have this, so you can get rid of it. Come on, select skip. And another handy thing in here, apart from, for instance, oops, misclick, themes, which allows you to choose from pre-made ones. You can also create your own if you want to, so you can select background images, colors, and just generally customize the keyboard to look and feel how you want. But additional settings here, for instance, if you go into keyboard settings, it allows you to enable things like haptic feedback, though from what I've tested, doesn't really do haptic feedback yet. So what you could do is just navigate back into the settings, and somewhere in here there was options to pretty sure I enabled it, yeah. So why are you giving me that pop-up? Oh right, I also didn't switch to the gBoard, so there we go, boom, and now we're in gBoard. But still, if I'm correct, oh no, there we go, we got haptic feedback. Now I'm not sure if you can kind of hear it. No, we most likely can't, but there is a subtle haptic feedback whenever you press a key. And it might seem like a very basic thing to want to have in your keyboard, but trust me, it does add a little bit of feel to your typing, where you pressing this glass display that has no indents in it does feel like you're actually typing, which, or maybe not actually, but just feels a little bit closer to what typing would feel. And does add just a little bit more feel to pressing the buttons, which in my opinion just makes it more enjoyable. And I'm still surprised that Apple didn't decide to include that by default with their keyboard. A little bit of a mishap there. So as you can use gBoard and have it just haptic feedback from there. And in general, gBoard is really good keyboard, so you can't really go wrong with it. If anything, I'm pretty sure it works just as well as the default keyboard, if not better. It might take you just a moment to get used to it, because as you've seen when enabling, it did have just a tiny bit different like positioning, but still, once you get used to it, you should be good to go without any kind of problems. And I think this would actually conclude everything that I wanted to show you. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.